Hi, this is Scott Voak, and today we're going to be talking about requests for repairs. Lately, although we have a lot of new activity in the market, we're seeing a high percentage of houses fall out of escrow. And by high, I just mean more than normal. The main reason is we're getting to a big misunderstanding when it gets to requests for repairs. Sellers over the last several years have not really had to do any repairs. Basically, if you've got multiple offers, there's no reason to consider major repairs. You just go to the next buyer. However, in today's market, sellers are having to concede a little more, and they're not used to it. Buyers are also getting bolder. So what I wanted to kind of do is give you a feeling of what is really appropriate on a request for repairs and what people can expect to see. And there's basically two items that you should really be looking at that are fair to ask for. The first one is health and safety. Okay, so the example I like to use is if the eyes on your garage door, those two little beams down at the bottom, aren't working and the garage door won't stop, well, that's dangerous if you've got a child sitting in the garage door or pets or the cars there. Okay, so that's a health and safety issue. Second would be something that you can't identify when you go through the house and make your offer. For example, a roof leak that's only visible in the attic. You can't be expected to have known that was there just by walking through the house. You find it in the inspection. Both of those are perfectly legitimate to ask for. What's not legitimate and where you're going to start getting some real pushback as a buyer is things that you should have noticed when you walked through the house and should have been incorporated in your initial offer. So let's say you're walking through kind of a house that's kind of beat up and the front window's broken. Got boards on it. It's obvious it's a problem. You should have that factored into your offer. You shouldn't then ask after you've agreed on a price for a credit for the window. Okay? You're going to get some serious pushback. Now, most people understand this, and if the buyer's agent has educated the buyer well enough, we don't run into a lot of problems. However, we're getting a lot of buyers who are coming in with weird requests. Give me a $20,000 credit for all this miscellaneous stuff on the inspection report, and sellers are saying, no thanks, and then the deal's falling apart. So one of the things I really look for when I receive an offer is how experienced is the buyer's agent. If I've got a part-time agent or somebody who hasn't done very many deals, I know that their buyer is not necessarily going to be educated on the process, and we're more likely to have problems when it comes down to the request for repairs. If you're a seller, understand that buyers are coming from different points of view. A lot of people look at real estate as a business transaction. They're business owners or they're salespeople or they're lawyers, and they're used to transactional dealings. But for a lot of people, it's their home. It's where they raise their kid. There's an emotional attachment to it. That's why these negotiations can be very tricky, and you've got to have experienced agents to be able to discern not only is somebody coming at this as a business transaction versus emotional, but then you also have different cultures and different styles of negotiating within cultures. So the request for repairs is the final tripping point that you usually get to in an escrow before you know you're going to close. And it's extremely important that the buyer has a very capable agent to make sure the transaction goes smooth. I'm Scott Voak. Thank you very much for watching. And if you know of anybody who is looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, please have them give me a call. I'd love to sit down and see if we could work together.